Hi everybody, nothing fancy again with the cold steel Natchez Bowie. This is the second time I've done this video just because the first one didn't work out. It's wouldn't render properly. Long story short, I got to redo it. So here we go again. Natchez cold steel Bowie. It's an awesome big knife. This is a box it comes in. It's an expensive knife. $350 for this mamma jamma, so it's a lot of money. I don't spend money like that on a blade, especially when it's in the price realm of a nice gun. But occasionally I will. So here she blows. That's the box it comes in. I'll talk about the sheath here in a sec. This is a blade. It was in plastic. I took the plastic out. Actually, how you're seeing it is how I store it. I do not store it in the leather sheath, just for durability sakes and moisture resistance. So I think that's better to save the box and store it in this paper sleeve. That's just me. Anywho, here's the blade. And it's a large, beautiful knife. I really love the cold steel Natchez Bowie. They did an excellent job on it. I've had my eye on it for a couple years. I had a real hard time justifying the price. And then finally I was able to get this one for about $350. Still a heck of a lot of money. Actually, I saw them this month, and this month being June of 08 for $299. And that's at Natchez Shooter Supplies in Tennessee. So if you can find that, that's great. $299 I think is probably about the cheapest you'll be able to get this blade for. Anyways, this is a very large fighting knife. It's not a survival knife. I wouldn't even call it a tactical knife. It is a Bowie fighting knife. True to the design of the original Bowie knives in the 1800s. In fact, I think Lynn Thompson, when he designed it, if indeed he did design it, was harkening back to those designs back in the 1800s, many of which survive in museums, and you can examine them. This has that wonderfully large, nice clip, Bowie clip blade on it, and I think it's a superb fighting blade. No, I'm not the end-all expert for that, but common sense would dictate that. It's got a lot of reach to it. Has a nice, sharp, but adequately reinforced tip on it. The spine on the blade is very thick, 8 millimeters thick. It's actually thicker than the Cold Steel Recon Scout, which at 5/16 of an inch thick is pretty darn thick. Great for splitting wood. But again, this is a fighting knife, and I would envision that that's its theoretical purpose. I say theoretical because the Cold Steel Natchez Bowie, in my opinion, is mostly a collectible knife. It is so large and so heavy at 29.6 ounces for the sheath and the knife. I really don't envision guys using this in any other fashion than maybe a knife collection. I mean, if you're a big dude and you feel like you can port this thing around, plus all your other stuff you're carrying, gun, ammo, flashlight, like if you're in theater in Afghanistan, Iraq, or future wars, post a video of you carrying this. That would be outstanding. I'd like to see what kind of super stud walks around the theater with all that other stuff, plus a Natchez Bowie strapped to his LBE. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, it's so large, I think practically speaking, the Natchez Bowie is best suited to collection purposes. And that's how I do it. I mean, I just like having it. It's a beautiful knife. Could it be employed in that purpose, fighting? You bet it could. I would think definitely this is a knife you'd want to train with, though, because it has substantial mass, and you better have some good arm strength so you can get the speed down too. Back to the blade. It's a laminated Sanmai 3 blade. That's what they call it. That's a proprietary name for Cold Steel's version of it. This is a very similar steel to Fallkniven's knife. I have a Fallkniven Wilderness knife that has the same type of construction. The laminated steel. It has kind of a VG10 type core, being a very hard stainless steel. Maybe something different, but along those lines. Maybe a 420 series exterior skin for more resistance in impacts and bending if you need it. My experience with this type of steel has been good. It does have some drawbacks. If you use it in a survival purpose, like I have the Fallkniven, look for my review on that knife, by the way, in the future. You might be a little bit disappointed. I have been, because that interior core of the steel, kind of like this Sanmai 3, is very brittle. It does hold an edge quite well, but if it impacts the ground like it has when I've been batoning wood and it's gone down into the dirt, I do get chips along it in my Fall Niven Wilderness knife. The cold steel Natchez Bowie would be no different. Although I don't see this knife employed in a survival capacity. Could you do it? Sure you could, but like I said in my first version of this video, you're not going to see me posting a video of me batoning a $350 knife through wood. I have a lot of other options for that task, so I don't have to thrash this blade. I'm certain it would excel in that capacity because of its thickness, that nice full flat grind, maybe a slight convex edge down here. Actually, it's just a standard edge down here, but it would split in wood quite nicely. It builds shelters, has great swing weight. I mean, you could lop off limbs, both wood and human, with this thing with no problem. That being said, this blade is very effective. The laminated steel, I think, is a good choice for this style of knife. It's beautiful. It's well rendered by cold steel. It has a nice brushed vertical pattern on satin finish on the blade. Obviously the Natchez Bowie logo there. Made in Japan, where there's a lot of good blade work done in my opinion. Cold steel logo on the hilt there. So I'm very fond of the blade. It's outstanding. It's a very intimidating fighting knife. Like I say in my write-up, if anybody pulled this knife on me, I wouldn't be hanging around to see if he knows how to use it. I'm out of there. This thing is mean looking. Let's go on to the other features of the knife. The guard is made of 300 series stainless steel, we're told. Very nice polished finish. I don't see any solder marks on the hilt, but it is firmly attached. Has a nice juncture on the linen, black linen micarta handle, which I love for knife material. I think it's really nice. This is a beautifully done handle. Smooth, ergonomically shaped, while still retaining that harkening back to the coffin pattern of previous Bowies. It's kind of a double coffin pattern, which I think is awesome. So the handle's nice. And one thing Cold Steel really did right on this handle is they made it long enough. If you're going to have a knife of this mass, you definitely want to have a long handle. Now my hands tend towards a larger size, so for me it's very comfortable. But there's some other offerings out there that have a large blade, but the handle's somewhat abbreviated. That leads us to the pommel, also polished stainless steel, nice beveling, couple aesthetic lines in there. I believe this is a full hilt design with a retention cap screw right there in the pommel. Nice. If you had to, you could hammer with it. Heaven forbid you would do it with a knife of this expense, but you can. And it's nice knowing that you can always do it if you need to. Cold Steel talks about the balance of the knife, that it's nice. I would agree with that. I think it's a well-balanced blade for the mass and heft that it represents. I do not, however, feel it's a fast blade. I think I have a lot of other knives in my collection that are a lot faster than this in wielding, and that's just a function of physics. When you get a knife this big, I just don't think it's going to wield that quickly. Now I'm talking about swinging and maybe thrusting. Drawing, of course, would be fine and fast. So that's the blade. Well balanced, yeah, I think so. It is heavy though, it is large, and that's just a function of the design. It's a very large, intimidating fighting knife, which I love. Let's talk about the sheath real quick. This is a traditional full leather sheath with a frog in it, a frog being a retention device under your belt. It's heavy stitched, it's reinforced with rivets. Nice job on that. It has leather spacers in it, so our blade never comes in contact with either the rivets or the stitching. Excellent. The blade fits quite nicely. In this particular model, I've had no damage to the blade inserting it and taking it out of the sheath. You will get your normal leather rubbing or polishing as you do right here. That's just normal. We kind of have to accept that. Now, I did get the brother blade to this, the Laredo Bowie, and I was displeased to see as I inserted it in that one, the Laredo Bowie, it came out with all kinds of scratches on its blade, and I was very displeased with that. So I ended up sending that back to Cold Steel, telling them they better fix that sheath because it's ruining an otherwise beautiful knife. So I do not have the Laredo Bowie anymore. Can't do a review on it, but it was nice except for the sheath. So as usual, I'm running out of time, so let me wrap it up. Natchez Bowie by Cold Steel is a very intimidating and beautifully crafted fighting knife. Great materials, great handle, nice blade. It is expensive, but if you want the ultimate and impressive knife in your collection, you will not go wrong by adding this. Thanks for watching. Nothing fancy.